Imagine a boy born in a house made of mud and bamboo, barely large enough for a family of 8. No electricity, no windows, just struggle. Every morning before the sun rose, he walked to the local railway station, not to catch a train, but to survive. As the iron wheels screeched to a halt, he would run along the bogies with a kettle in hand, shouting, "Chai, chai." He served soldiers heading to the 1965 war, burning with a desire to join them. Even trying to join army school, but failing because his family couldn't afford the fees. He was invisible to the passengers, just another poor boy in a poor country. But inside that boy's mind, a storm was brewing. He spent every spare coin not on toys, but on books in the local library, reading about Swami Vivekananda and the idea of a Jagat Guru, India as a world leader. At 17, while other teenagers were planning their careers, he did the unthinkable. He left home. With nothing but a small bag, he vanished into the Himalayas for 2 years. He lived with sadhus, slept in caves, and wandered across India seeking a spiritual purpose. When he returned, he didn't seek wealth. He joined a volunteer organization, the RSS, as full-time worker with no salary. His job? Sweeping the floors, washing dishes, making tea for senior leaders. He owned nothing. He slept in the office headquarters. During the dark days of the emergency in the 1970s, he went underground, wearing disguises to smuggle literature and keep the flame of democracy alive. He was the silent worker, the man in the shadows whom nobody knew, but who made sure everything worked. By the 1990s, the tea seller had become a master strategist. He wasn't the face on the posters. He was the brain designing the campaign. He organized the massive Rath Yatra that changed Indian politics forever. He traveled from village to village, sleeping in buses, eating with workers, building a network that spanned the entire nation. He was sent to Delhi, then to Himachal and Haryana, far from his home state. For 10 years, he worked in organizational exile, quietly mastering the art of governance and technology. He was the first to suggest using mobile phones for campaigning long before it was cool. Then came October 2001. A phone call from the Prime Minister changed everything. The state of Gujarat was reeling from a devastating earthquake and political instability. They needed a new leader, someone tough. They called the man who had never contested an election in his life. On October 7th, 2001, the boy who once sold tea on the railway platforms of Vadnagar stood before the governor to take his oath. The world finally learned his name, Narendra Modi. His start was baptized by fire. Months after taking over, Gujarat burned in the Godhra riots. Critics wrote his political obituary. The world condemned him. But Modi did what he learned in the Himalayas. He stood still in the storm. He turned his focus to a single goal: development. He rebuilt Bhuj from the rubble. He brought water to the arid lands of Kutch. He pitched vibrant Gujarat to the world when no one wanted to invest. He electrified every village. For 13 years, he ran the state with an iron grip and a CEO's mindset, turning it into an economic powerhouse. By 2013, the chant began, not just in Gujarat, but across India. The country was tired of corruption and policy paralysis. They wanted the Gujarat model. They wanted the tea seller. In 2014, he achieved the biggest election victory in 30 years. As Prime Minister, Modi didn't just rule, he disrupted. He stood from the ramparts of the Red Fort and spoke not of war, but of toilets, launching the Swachh Bharat mission to clean India. Then came the shocks. November 2016. Demonetization. Over 86% of currency banned overnight to fight black money. 2019. The abrogation of Article 370. Fully integrating Kashmir with India, a move no leader had dared to touch for 70 years. He pushed for a digital India, where even a vegetable vendor accepts payments via smartphone. He wasn't afraid to lose popularity for long-term gain. From surgical strikes across the border to landing Chandrayaan on the moon's south pole, his decisions were bold, risky, and unapologetically nationalist. Today, in December 2025, Narendra Modi is in his third term, leading a nation that is the world's fastest-growing major economy. From a boy denied entry to a soldier's school, he now commands one of the world's most powerful militaries. From selling tea to commoners, he now hosts the G20 leaders. His journey from rags to riches isn't just about money. It's about the richness of possibility. It proves that in a democracy, a passport to power doesn't require a famous last name. It requires grit. Love him or hate him, you cannot ignore the boy from Vadnagar who changed India forever.